Is masculinity toxic? Well, that's a good question. Turns out you need to put it in context in order to have a meaningful answer to that question. Yes, there are toxic expressions of masculinity, moments or patterns where men may be behaving in ways that are destructive, violent, harmful, demeaning, abusive. Absolutely, that's toxic. But there are also really beautiful and healthy expressions of masculinity. And what's challenging here is that we can't oversimplify, because some of the healthy forms of masculinity in another circumstance could be toxic, right? So protection, let's say, the desire to protect those you love, that can be a really beautiful, healthy form of masculinity in the right context with the right relationship. But protecting can also be patronizing. It can also be demeaning. It can also be controlling in the wrong circumstance. And so this is where we can't just get caught up in oversimplifying the conversation and say either masculinity is toxic or it's not. But in fact, can we look at the system of patriarchy that underpins traditional masculinity, that actually creates the culture of masculinity that so many of us were enculturated into, a domination-based system of masculinity that is rooted in insecurity and enforced through violence? Until we begin to understand the system of patriarchal masculinity that normalizes and rewards toxic masculine expression, we can't meaningfully engage in this conversation, because all we're doing is entrenching in the right or wrong, good or bad binary thinking that maintains the very system that we're trying to disrupt. So the question is, how can we move outside of this binary thinking, outside of the good-bad dichotomy, and into a space of grappling with the ways in which we each hold toxicity and health in masculine expression? But this is not something that, those people are toxic and these people are good. But in fact, we all contain elements of all of it. And not just men, not just male identified folks, but all of us. And so together, can we look more critically and more contextually at what it means to be healthy in our masculinity? And can we also continue to call out and call in toxic expressions of masculinity, knowing that that toxicity is not just experienced by those around us. That toxicity is by definition toxic to us as men. And so when we're perpetuating toxic masculinity, that is killing us. That is harming us as men, as well as harming those around us. And we have the opportunity to heal and whole ourselves so that we can be in thriving relationship with ourselves and with everyone around us.